Satnam, aloha. Welcome to my live stream. And everything looks good. Looks like I'm on. Okay. And we'll wait. Okay. So 1 week from today, on January 22nd, we're officially entering the energy of the new year. And so you may be feeling that this yourself, right? This upcoming energy. It feels, to me, it feels like you're on a rocket ship, ready to take off, right? There's this energy. So we'll look at the chart because the chart's really supporting us at this moment. So personally, to speak from my perspective, is I feel like in this in-between place, I can see the changes for me personally that are coming for 2020. And then this, not just 2020, but this next 7-year cycle that's leading us into the next big marker in our human evolution, which is 2027. So I just did a 6-hour plus webinar series on this, and you can find the link below so that you can come up to speed with what's happening and what's going on. So I can see all the new and all the changes that I need to make, yet the past keeps grabbing my attention, right? The past is like, hold up, wait a minute, not so fast. You have some loose ends to deal with here. You need to do some wrap up. So my words are streamlining and letting go. It's like letting go of all the excess, right? So right, 2020, there's been so many planets in Capricorn. It's about really like setting up your foundation, right? But as you're setting up your foundation, you've got to let go of a lot of things. You can't take everything with you. So remember that we're traveling light, right? That word light, traveling light for the Aquarian age. And also getting clear on what to focus on and what you need to let go of, right? That's really important too. And what will show you is not your mind. Your mind wants to cling, right? Your mind is all about the past. It just wants to cling to the past, right? You can't do that, right? This is giving you, a paycheck or this or that, but your emotions are like overriding and like, no, I'm done with this. Right? I'm done with this kind of work. I'm done with working with these kinds of people in this situation. So you really want to trust your emotions right now. So that's what I would advise you to do. The same, right? To deal with the mess, right? The mess of 2012 to 2019, this last 7-year cycle we are in. And if things are annoying to you, it's like, oh, why can't I get rid of this? It's like, no, the universe is like, you've got to finish this up. So let's look at the chart. I'll share the chart so everybody can see. And welcome everybody. Like, put your name down if you're here. Make yourself known. Okay, there we go. So there's the chart as of today. And you can see we have some definition. So somebody emailed me and said, I don't understand what all these gates are. So these are the gates. You see here, right? Right there is the 55th gate. That's called a gate. And when two gates meet up together, they create a channel. Okay, so this is the program. This is what's called the program, and this is what's guiding humanity. So, well, let's look at the big picture first. The big picture first. Okay. So the big picture is, I want to make sure that you can all see that. There we go. Okay, so let's go to the big picture. This is the mandala right here. Okay. So each year, you can see the zodiac signs, right? So right now we're in the sign of Capricorn, right? And so you can see we go through all these numbers. And Just a sec here. So we go through all these numbers. Okay. And right now, the sun, you see the sun with the circle with the dot in the middle. It's in the 61st hexagram, and you can see the sign of Saturn and Pluto are in there too. And so we're coming around to the 41. You can see the 41 there. That's the start of the new year. It's the start codon. It begins a whole new cycle of human experience. So you can see we're not quite there. And so New Year's, right? New Year's Day falls in the 38, and the 38 is struggle. It's the shadow of struggle. And this pattern, it's to elevate struggle, is to really discover what is worth fighting for, right? This is part of the spiritual warrior, this 38 and 39, the spiritual warrior, the archetype of that. So what's worth fighting for? And Jupiter's in there too. So it's going to really expand. You know, you got to pick your battles, right? You can't do everything, right? That's what I'm learning. It's really about focus, and you'll see why, right? One of the channels, the focus is defined. So the 38, right? That falls on New Year's Day. So we're going against the energy, right? January 1st. It's not really the new. It's not the start of something. This is about preparing. We're preparing ourselves for the start. Okay. So then we've gone through all these hexagrams, and all these hexagrams, archetypes, gene keys, whatever you want to call them, they're pressure points. So wherever you see the root chakras, this brown square down here, that's the root chakra. So that's a pressure. It creates pressure to evolve. And then we've got the head up here. It's like a sandwich. And the other is the mental pressure, right? There's a mental pressure, and then there's a root pressure. So these are major pressure points. As you can see, the 38 is coming off the root, right? The 54 off the root. The 61's coming off the head. And then the 60 is down here off the root. And then 41 is the root. And then we start the brand new cycle. So with the 61, this is a mental pressure to understand why. It's like looking for inspiration. You're looking for inspiration. So that's what's happening right now with this energy that we're in right now. And the sun's in there, Saturn's in there, and Pluto's in there too. So it's looking for inspiration. And so let's look at these channels here, right? So you've got the, I actually like the Mandela better. It's more beautiful. So you've got this 52-9. So this is called the channel of concentration. So this can make you, if you use this energy, determined and really focused, right? So it's the gift of determination and the gift of restraint. And I talked about restraint in the last video that I did, right? So this is going to give you that absolute focus of what you need to work on right now and what you need to let go of, right? And then we've got this 58 to the 18, okay, going from the root to the spleen. That's the spleen. And this is all about correcting what is spoiled. Correcting what is spoiled. So this is like seeing what needs to be fixed. And boy, am I in that energy right now, right? Is to correct what needs to be fixed. So part of me, the pioneer, wants to like, come on, let's go. Go. I know where we need to go. We need to do this. We need to do that. And then the past is like, no. You got to correct some things first before you can go. So you really have to be patient, but you have this focused energy right now to really tap into. Okay. So we're going to be all out of that 61 soon, and then we're going to be in the 60. I think we're in the 5th line right now in the 61. So it's going to be in a couple days. We'll be in the 60. And that's the gift of realism. It's the shadow of limitation. It's the gift of realism. So this is about, right? It's about getting, You know, realism can have a really bad name in the spiritual community. It's like, don't rain on my parade, right? Come into the real world. But it's not that, right? It's about um, the higher frequency of it is it's about manifestation, right? So we need a container, right? You need a container. So I always look at prosperity as kind of rain, right? It rains, and that to catch the rain you need a container. If you don't have a container, the rain just disperses everywhere, right? So you need a container. So when we move into the 60, it's about creating your container. So say you're a life coach or a teacher, it's about your structures are like, I teach these numbers of days per week. I charge this amount of money, right? Just what your structure is, what works for you and really serves you. And so the 61 is you're going to be inspired by that. So this is this pressure, right, to these next 7 years, right? This is just about 2020. It's these next 7 years. Is that making sense to people that are listening? And then we move into the 41, and that's the dream, and that's like takeoff time, right? It's takeoff time. So there it is there, right? We're moving all the way around to this 41. And then that's on January 22nd. And what else did I want to say? To let you know that I'm doing for January 22nd, I'm doing a rebirthing webinar. So it's a 3-hour webinar. And it will be well, I just want to read it will be a Kundalini Yoga rebirthing Kriya, but it's also a guided meditation by me. And I love doing rebirthing. I've done it in 3D. I've done it on my online programs, but it's going to be live, which is a completely different scenario. So Yogi Bhajan he said about these rebirthing Kriyas that he put out, he said, I'm teaching these classes to get to develop your neural patterns. So all the pain and the garbage you're carrying is in your subconscious mind. And this takes years and years of different treatments and seminars to get rid of. And we want to just get rid of them as fast as possible. So the subconscious mind, for a reminder for people, is we have our conscious mind, the mind that we're aware of, the thoughts we're having. But underneath that is the subconscious mind, and that's the storehouse of all of our memories. Right? So all of our memories are thoughts, actions, right? Or sit in that area. So what we do is we inherit the subconscious mind of our mother, right? And you as a child, or your own child if you're a mother, they represent your subconscious mind. So this is what we have to get rid of, because we're not living in the past anymore. Remember the Aquarian age, we're coming more and more into the present moment, right? So all these memories have to be cleared up. So this is a good way to do that, is to just go right to the cellular level, right? That's what I love about the technology of Kundalini Yoga and meditation. Is go to the cellular level, and then you completely rewrite your birth experience. So your birth experience actually affects how you approach your life. I remember meeting this one guy in Sedona. He was a friend of my roommates, and I got talking to him, and he kind of had this attitude of, whatever. He felt he was like the jellyfish, right, in the world, and I got the sense that he was waiting for a savior, right, waiting for someone to come in and save him, right. That's the energy he had. And so I said, how were you born? Tell me about your birth. And he said, oh, I was cesarean, right? And that's a perfect example of a cesarean birth, how it affects you. It's like you're waiting for the savior, right? You didn't have to go through the struggle of being born. There's a reason why we struggle. Mother struggles, baby struggles, right? It's part of this birthing process, right? Jupiter's in the 38. So it's like the caterpillar that's in the cocoon, and it's developing, transforming into the butterfly. It's still in the cocoon. It's like its wings are developing, and it's like pushing against the cocoon, right? So if somebody, and that's part of the process, right, of the struggle, and to be born, to transform. And so if somebody comes along and thinks, oh, I don't want this butterfly to suffer, I'm going to help it, right? I'm going to help it and I'm going to remove the cocoon for it. The butterfly won't fly. It can't fly because it didn't develop that strength. So we too, as humans, the ones that didn't develop that strength, right? They're not going to have that determination and that perseverance to face their challenges in life, right? So keep that in mind with like people you know, or maybe you're like that too. But the great thing is you can rewind that. You can totally rewrite your birth, right? So the other thing, the webinar will be that, and that's probably going to take an hour, like the whole rebirthing process. But we'll be looking at the year ahead according to this new chart, because the new chart is like the snapshot of like, okay, here's what's going to happen in this next year, right? What to look out for, what to use, what energies you can use to support you. And also I'm going to look at a fixed star that's about to explode in 2020. A fixed star that's about to explode. There's only 9 fixed stars, and this one's about to turn into a supernova. Supernova means explosion. And so the last supernova that we had was in 1987, and that was the birth of human design, the human design system. So this is big too, right? More information, like evolutionary information coming to the planet, and like what does this mean for humanity, and right? So we'll look at that fixed star, and then there'll be time for Q&A, and of course whatever spontaneous things happen. So that's January 22nd, and that's 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. So you can convert that to your time zone, and it's in a Zoom meeting, so it's nice and private. And so you want to, if you feel called to join in, it will be recorded, so you don't have to be there in person. But you want to wear comfortable clothes. This is, if you listen to the recording later, you want comfortable clothes. You want your yoga mat or sheepskin. You want to create a nice sacred space where you're comfortable and you can lie down. And you want to have water and tissues, right? You want to have tissues and water nearby to go through this rebirthing. So you want to be that butterfly, right? Coming out of the cocoon and ready for the new. So that's what I would say to people, is like really let go of this old way of being, and to really trust your emotions that are telling you like, I am so done with this, right? I don't know what's coming, but all I know is I'm done with that, right? So really, really trust that. And then that inspiration will come. That 61 that we're in right now, right? So it's a mental pressure to like, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? You want to raise the frequency to inspiration, and you don't think inspiration isn't about mentally efforting. I need inspiration, so I'm going to grab onto that from the past, or my friend over here is inspired and on fire, so I'm going to grab onto her dream, right? It's like, no, inspiration is just relaxing, not acting upon, right? Restraint, not acting upon this pressure, but allowing that inspiration to come from deep inside you, right? And you'll be guided to the new. Okay. So any questions? And also the solar plexus mutation webinar, it's packed full of information, right? So if you want to learn more about these next 7 years, 2027 is right there with 2012, right? And 1987. Okay. I think that's all I want to say is about the pressure. Yeah. Okay. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, so do that, ring the bell so that you know when I'm live and when I release a video. And my intention this year is to really be on these energy patterns and sharing what I see, right, with everybody else. And I've got big changes coming. So I'll be announcing all that on January 22nd. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining in. And if you have any questions, email me. And if you have any ideas for videos too, let me know. Okay. So Satnam, aloha. Take good care. Bye-bye.